Welcome to Nightchild Reviews. Today's video focuses on an ongoing legal dispute between Dave Rusan, who created the iconic cloud guitar so famously used in the Purple Rain movie, and the Prince estate, who now control Prince's ongoing legacy. For a look at how Dave Rusan became involved with designing the cloud guitar and his work over the years for Prince, please check out our previous cloud guitar videos, which are listed below this video. Just before I begin, I should obviously make one aspect clear. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not an expert in the legal arguments and procedures relating to this case, nor someone who has extensive knowledge on intellectual copyright or other relevant laws. I'm really viewing this as someone who wants the very best for the cloud guitar, Prince's ongoing appreciation, and the creativity and skill of Dave Rusan. I'll briefly outline the issue here, and then I will offer my own personal conclusion and how I hope this matter is resolved. For anyone that's followed the ongoing settling of the Prince estate since 2016, I think, with the possible exception of some law firms, the one thing most Prince fans agree on is that we feel there's probably been more than enough legal action to date. As of 2019, over $45 million has been spent on legal fees, which is obviously a startlingly large figure for most people to get their head around. Some was unavoidable due to the uncertainty of operating Prince's vast estate without knowing Prince's direct wishes. However, some, and this case may be a good example, one hopes could be resolved in a beneficial manner to both parties. The story, as we will know from the previous video, began when Dave Rusan, who was an independent contractor at the time, was asked to create a guitar for Prince, which was to be based upon the sardonic bass guitar that Andre Simone could be seen playing in Why You Wanna Treat Me So Bad. It also made a brief appearance in the My Name Is Prince video later on. Dave was given little instruction, other than for the guitar to be white, have EMG pickups, gold hardware, and some cloud bass-like style. Dave designed and built the guitar, and the rest, as they say, is purple-hued history. We then pick up the story after the tragic passing of Prince in 2016. Dave had been creating the guitars happily for years for a number of no doubt very grateful Prince fans, when a customer suggested that Dave should apply for the trademark, which he had used as the service mark for his business for a long time, so that no one could prevent him from making these iconic guitars. According to the rather excellent madcatsancloud.com website, the original cloud bass, designed by Jeffrey Levin under the name of Sardonyx, was a one-off, meant to be used by the builder alone, and so there was no reason to apply for a design patent. It appeared that Prince himself had not requested any form of trademark for the cloud either. I would strongly recommend checking out the video where Dave talks to the Guitologist YouTube channel about how he proceeded to acquire the trademark. The video contains a great interview with Dave where he explains the various hoops he had to jump through in order to acquire the ruling, proving he had used the design for his business, and then submitting the claim to the wider public for any claims to be put forward. Claimants apparently had 5 years to put their claim forward. The video is linked below. Dave therefore applied for the patent, and after a few $1,000s of trademark lawyer fees and the application process, he received the trademark in February 2018, which he framed with pride. However, it was then a few months later when he received a letter from Paisley Park ordering him to surrender the trademark. Talking to the Guitologist YouTube channel, Dave offered several compromises to Paisley Park, such as a royalty share, or even offering to give the trademark to Paisley once Dave stopped making guitars. However, these were all apparently rejected. As you can imagine, the costs involved in defending a lawsuit from a large entity such as the Prince estate can rack up substantially, and Dave, who largely operates his business on his own, the time cost would also be a huge issue, involving a lot of time with lawyers, depositions, possible court appearances, etc. Paisley Park began to then sell their own Schecter copies of the cloud guitar. However, this seems to have ceased now, but it is possible they may sell them in the future. The dispute is ongoing, with the estate looking to claim the trademark for themselves. For me, there are 3 points that I think are key to this situation, and they are entirely my own personal opinions. Firstly, it seems somewhat strange and rather ironic that the estate seems to be focusing on Dave Rusan, but not the myriad of other cloud guitar likenesses. This quote from madcatsanclouds.com explains this point deftly. There are plenty of other builders of clouds that were not appointed by Prince, ranging from fans creating project guitars in their garages and workshops, to companies such as Rare Electric Guitars, who produce a range of inexpensive copycats on a commercial scale, and even ESP, who marketed a range of clouds in the Japanese domestic market in the 1990s. The article concludes with a thought-provoking conclusion. There appears to be a market for cloud guitars at all price points, with Dave Rusan's being the most reassuringly expensive. What sets Dave Rusan apart from all the others is his skill and attention to detail. Surely he isn't threatening Paisley Park or the estate. My second point is that a royalty-based system would be a win-win situation for both Dave and the estate. By offering guitars for sale via the website, the estate could offer hand-built custom guitars built by Dave. I mean, imagine that, actually buying a guitar from the Prince estate that Prince's own guitar luthier had created in his own studio. It would be a sought-after collector's piece, likely with a sizable demand. This way, Dave gets his reward for his creativity, skills and craftsmanship, and by offering the guitars through the estate's vast online promotion capabilities, it would easily reach a worldwide audience who would be able to cherish a fascinating and authentic Prince item. Thirdly, and perhaps most importantly for me, is the huge missed opportunity the estate are squandering. Dave not only created guitars for Prince, but worked for other Prince-related acts such as Maserati and the Family. He is a truly valuable potential asset to the Prince community. In our very own interview with Dave, he states, "It also seems that there are lost opportunities in that I'm part of Prince's history and I could appear at the annual celebration at Paisley Park and tell my stories of working with Prince and be involved in other ways there." I could not agree more. Dave would be a much sought-after contributor to the annual Prince celebration when it resumes, and he would be a fascinating addition to any official Prince podcast or video. It just makes so much sense to embrace and utilise the wide range of people who are part of the Prince story. Prince's legacy is not just his music, the visual recordings and the Minneapolis sound. Prince's legacy is also the people he worked with and who work for him to help him create this artistic vision. We need to appreciate them when they are here to tell us these remarkable stories. I truly hope and wish the estate does arrive at an agreement with Dave. It is in everybody's interest that the guitars Dave created are available to those lucky enough to be able to purchase one. Enough money has gone to lawyers. I truly hope it's time that the estate extend a hand to those who helped Prince's vision and use these wonderful voices for such an amazing artist. Let's hope Dave appears on many more platforms, and with any luck, the estate will realise just what a great advocate for Prince's iconic guitar he truly is. Thank you.